And before we kickstart with the queries, Kunal, let me come to you. And markets, do you think that today's up move is here to stay and that period of consolidation is behind us? Or do you see markets consolidating some more? And where do you see Sensex?
So, the move which had happened on last week on Monday, I think for the indices where the Nifty had scaled up from 17,400 to 17,800, we've not been able to break past either of the ranges. So on Sensex terms, the range for the Sensex was, I think, around 58,200 to 59,600. And we are looking at the last 3 days of price action. The Sensex is still stuck into this kind of a 1500, 1600 point range for itself. So we'll have to wait out for a breakout about the 59,600 mark to really call it this as a potential breakout move for the index. Or on the other hand, a break below the 58,200 mark. As of now, we are still stuck into this consolidation, which I believe could probably continue for at least the next couple of days.
All right, you expect to see this period of consolidation continuing for next couple of days. But let's move on, and as promised, let's kickstart with the query segment. And yes, today is Teachers' Day. So if your teachers out there, if you've tuned in to buy now, sell now right now, do write into us and do share with us about stock queries in case you have any, or also life experiences as a whole. We would love to hear from you, your story of how it's been to be a teacher and what have you learned from the students. And also all those who tuned in, do mention and talk about your favorite teacher to us as well. And we will take those queries and your basically life sharings also on air. So let's get going with the query segment then. And the first query that I have is coming in from Rajagopalan, and he wants an advice on Make Money Organics or Make Money Fine Chem. Either of these, in between these two, Ashish, he wants to know which one should he look at, Make Money Organics or Make Money Fine Chem. He wants to hold for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I suggest you go for Make Money Fine Chem if you are a long-term investor. And this is a stock which has given excellent return to its shareholders. And in my view, it will continue to perform because, again, a debt-free company with sizable capacity and, fears of China dumping, etc. are over now, and they are having good pricing power in it. We have seen last 2 quarterly numbers also pretty good for Make Money Fine Chem. So you go with this. I'm expecting a price target of even 2,000 rupees in next 12 to 15 months.
Ashish, my question is also for you. Sarthak Satya has written to us. He's asking whether to hold or average on LIC. 820 was the buying price.
Question I face almost in every show because a lot of retail investors are stuck in LIC stock and they are just clueless what is going to happen. In my view, you should need to exit from this stock. Again, the reason is the kind of EV they were supposed to derive post-listing, etc. is not coming. Even first premium income is also not satisfactory compared to the peers that like SBI Life or HDFC Life Insurance, etc. So this is going to be underperformer stock, even not for 3-6 months, but at least I am expecting a couple of years. So better you sell the stock and switch your position to SBI Life, where my target for stock is 1,500 rupees in next 1 year.
Right. This next query is coming in from our viewer Raghu, and Raghu has wished Kunal and Ashish a very happy Teachers' Day. Also, he has a query on City Union Bank. He wants to know what to do with it. He has about 1,093 shares of City Union Bank purchased at 179.17 is the price, Kunal. He wants to know what should he do with this particular counter.
See, I think it's a bit higher side that you've bought such a high quantity for City Union Bank because the stock had done exceptionally well in the last 3 months from 120 to almost 190 where the stock had rallied up towards last week. So I think buying the stock at current levels, that to a higher quantity may not be a right strategy. I would suggest that you wait out for maybe a couple of points for the stock trading higher, maybe 180 to 185. That's where I think the stock is also taking a resistance on the short-term charts. Try and book out profits over there, and then look to buy this on dips as well as on stages. in lower quantities. So I think that would be a better strategy. You can start maybe at 175 levels, and then as now the stock falls another 5 rupees odd, keep on averaging further. That would be a better strategy for City Union Bank.
Right. Kunal KR Balan has written to us. He wants to sell 500 shares of Bandhan Bank, Axis Bank and BHEL. And he's also asking to buy any 3 more. So what would you recommend for a medium term?
So, two of the banking names which I've already highlighted, Kotak Bank as well as IDFC First Bank, you can try and prefer that from the names. From the PSU side, because you're selling BHEL, if you're looking to sell, I would suggest that you should ideally not sell BHEL at current levels because the stock is now showing signs of a turnaround. But in case if you're hardbound to sell the stock and move on to another PSU name, I would suggest something of the likes of either Coal India or NTPC. I believe both these stocks are are on the verge of a multi-month, multi-year breakout for themselves. So and they hold also a lot of potential. But I would still ask you to reconsider the decision to sell BHEL. If in case you are hardbound, then opt out for Coal India or NTPC.
All right, this next query that I have is coming in from Alma D'Souza, and she has GMR Infra already purchased at a price of around 37. She wants to know what would be the target price of the stock fundamentally, but she wants to ask this query to you, Kunal. So target for GMR Infra, one, should she stay put with this holding, and what sort of target should she look at?
See, of course, I'm not sure on the fundamental side, but then on the technical basis, I believe that the last 4-5 days of a steep price uptrend for GMR Infra is one of the best you've seen for the stock, at least over the last many months. And when you see such a kind of a steep rise, don't try and extrapolate returns on long-term basis. It's always best to have a certain set of a target which is assigned. So, for example, if you're comfortable with a 10% kind of a return and from your cost price of 37, I think 40-ish could be a good level where you can look to book out profits and then look to park the money back again into the large cap names. That's a much better strategy rather than just holding and expecting these high beta names to continue, because when the markets get into any kind of a corrective or a volatile phase, these high beta stocks are the ones which bleed the highest and they correct much more sharper. So I would suggest not to stay for long in such kind of a stocks, but just look out for trading. 10% gains could be good enough gains for a stock like GMR Infra from a short-term play.
Coming to you again, Kunal, Dhiraj Bhagwan has written to us. He's asking why Patanjali Foods is a volatile stock in nature, and he's also asking for a short-term investing view on it.
So in fact, Patanjali Foods is something which I had discussed I think last week as well. It looks attractive to me on the charts. Now, why the stock is volatile is very difficult because there are a lot of reasons for that. One is I think if I'm not wrong, the stock is also in the ASM group trade to trade series. Maybe because of that, there is a high degree of volatility for Patanjali Foods. But then, we look at charts purely, and I think on that regards, the stock is showing a good amount of momentum. So if you're in for a play for, say, the next 3 to 6 months, and if you want to have that slight high risk or high beta nature of stock in your portfolio, then I think you can consider Patanjali Foods.
Right. This next query that I have is coming in from Raja Rampur, and he wants to know about Karur Vysya Bank. 500 shares purchased at 140 rupees per share. He purchased this a long time ago. He wants to know what to do, wholesale or average. Kunal, this one is for you. Sorry, Ashish, keeping you waiting, but this one is for Kunal.
So I would suggest a hold as of now. I would not suggest an averaging out at current levels. But I think if you can probably look to average, then I would prefer adding on to some other names from the banking side. And if you're looking at specifically the smaller sized banking names, which I believe is probably the two-digit banking names, as I mentioned earlier, you can look at IDFC First Bank. That's a stock which I believe holds a lot of potential. If you want to look out for more, the smaller names, DCB Bank, I think at 94 or 95 levels where the stock is currently trading, also looks very attractive on the charts. It's also going through a big turnaround mode for itself. So these are the few names which I would consider other than Karur Vysya Bank.
Right. Coming to you, Ashish, Padma Balan is writing to us. She's asking whether she should buy any 2 Adani Port stocks, Adani Port, Adani Wilmar, and she's also asking for a short-term view on Piramal Entertainment and Bajaj Fund.
Okay, as far as Adani Group stocks are concerned, you need to embrace the volatility. Only one issue is there in this stock. So Adani Port, anyway, I have recommended this. This is the stock you can safely accumulate at this level. I'm expecting 1,000 rupees before end of this year in Adani Port, because the kind of numbers are going to come because of robust international trade. Adani is going to be our biggest beneficiary then. As far as Adani Wilmar is concerned, again, I suggest as the market cap of the company is almost 87,000 crore, vis-a-vis Patanjali, you are getting less than 50,000 crore. And the way growth is being shown by Patanjali Food is a better company to look at instead of Adani Wilmar in today's apple-to-apple comparison. As far as Piramal prices is concerned, again now NBFC is because of demerger, NBFC stock is coming at a good valuation. But still, I suggest not to buy this stock. Wait for some more correction. We'll like to buy this stock at somewhere around 950 odd rupees. And the last one was Bajaj Finance, right?
All right, hang in there, experts, Kunal as well as Ashish as well as viewers. We'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now, but when we come back, we will continue asking your queries, so do write into us.
In whatever business we do, we continue to be very well.
I have to pick one. It will be Poggy sir for me. He used to teach me economics during my higher standards, and more than the subject, it was the life lessons, how to lead life, how to stay focused, how to stay positive, and his notes I use till my graduation days. So he's someone that has been a part of my day every day, because till date I get a good morning message from him every day. He was over 60 during those days, and he's someone that I always look forward to.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर
Diversified across product lines, the general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you asked, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge.
See, Nikunj, you are a very seasoned market observer, and therefore you may hit the nail on the head.
I think you have always kept the focus on the retail investor, and I think it's again a very apt, very good question.
Nikunj, first of all, thank you so much. You are one person I've always enjoyed interacting throughout the last 15-20 years.
You know, the problem on coming on your channel is that you already know everything. I just heard your introduction. And what can anybody add to that?
Stock markets is a numbers game, and it sometimes does come across as one-dimensional. But what people don't see is that these numbers, when strung together, tell a story. There's no really black or white. It very much seems to be a work in progress of triumphs and mistakes, greed and fear. And I bring you that story behind the numbers in action.
The personal finance show that helps you achieve all your financial dreams.
This show gets you everything that you need to know about your money, how to earn more, invest smartly, and spend while getting the best bang for your buck.
From the perfect home to early retirement and everything in between.
Real estate, everyone
telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually...
Welcome back to ET Now's Buy Now, Sell Now. We'll continue with the query segment going on. Kunal, coming to you, Rajesh Maheshwari is writing to us. He's holding 500 shares of Petronet LNG at an average price of 250. He's requesting for a short-term and a long-term view.
See, from a short-term play, I don't see any major breakout. In fact, Petronet has been one of the, in technical parlance, we call it as an absolutely boring stock because the stock tends to remain absolutely sideways for months and for years on a trot. I remember, I think 2016 to 2022, the last 5-6 years, the stock has been stuck into this range of 200 to 260 to 65 broadly. So a 30% range for the last 6 years is a very minor kind of a trading range for a stock like Petronet. I think from a short-term play, even at current levels, I don't see any major breakout happening. The best time to try and buy these stocks is to wait out for that breakout to happen. So assuming if the stock breaks past about 260, 270, on the back of some bigger volumes or higher volumes, that's the time you should be looking to buy. So you can hold as of now, but not to add bad only once the stock breaks out that's 265 to 70 barrier.
Okay, we've got a very beautiful message coming in from Chitra, who's writing to us from Bangalore, and she's wishing Happy Teachers' Day to all. She's a chemistry postgraduate with an MPhil and B.Ed, and she was a teacher herself, but right now a homemaker and a short-term trader. And her favorite teacher is her father, who is a retired professor in chemistry, and she's wants to tell thanks a lot to him. Also, she's asked a question, and this one is short-term query because she is also a short-term trader, Kunal. So her question is, how much percentage one should wait in a short-term trade of about 3 to 4 months? Is going out with around 13 to 15% uptick is the right strategy when you are a short-term trader and you're holding a counter?
Absolutely. So I think I have certain degree of benchmarks which I generally keep for my set of trades. So I will look out for typically a 5% trade for a swing. So by swing I mean maybe a week or two kind of a time frame. That's where I look out for a 5% kind of a swing, more preferably in large cap names. For mid caps and for small caps, the returns are far more higher because then you have to also adjust the risk which is attached towards these kind of trades. From a weekly from a quarterly perspective, like 3 months to 4 months kind of a time frame, or 10 to 15% is a good enough because that's where you tend to ride the trend. So it's not just about finding those essential target points. It's always essential to ride the trend because at times when you get a 5% pop in a couple of days, there's always that greediness to try and book profits over for those kind of stocks. So I think a 10 to 15% benchmark is a good enough benchmark for 3 to 4 months kind of a time frame.
Right. Thank you, Kunal. Rajesh, coming to you. Abraham Thomas has written to us. He's holding KPIT Tech 200 shares, bought at rupees 594 for medium to long term. He's asking for a medium term advice on the same. Ashish, this question's for you.
Yeah, which stock? KPIT, right?
Right.
Yeah. So IT stocks right now are not doing that great, and I again sense these companies will underperform compared to broader marketplace. But KPIT is again a good company in this particular space, and you need to keep track whenever US market will rebound or Nasdaq will rebound. Again, IT stock will get flavor once again. So if you are having a medium-term horizon, then you can continue to remain invested because this is one of the best managed and best product company in mid-cap IT space. That is why I'm advising to remain invested here. And those investors who are looking for some quality mid-cap IT stocks, this is a stock to start gradually accumulating also.
All right, this next query that I have is coming in from Vivek, and he wants a query on Stylum Industries. He's purchased the stock at a price of around 1,077 rupees per share. Ashish, what's your take on this one? He wants a fundamental view and wants to know whether he should hold on to this counter for the next 1 to 2 years.
Yes, again a good company in mica and home improvement space, and so the stock has corrected from its peak. But looking at their quarterly numbers and the demand for these particular products, this company is going to do well in future also. So my advice is to remain invested. In fact, start accumulating even more stock in line.
Kunal, Roy Dashat has written to us. He's holding 56 holdings of BHEL at 160. He's asking for a short-term call or hold or sell.
I would suggest to hold on to BHEL. I think it's a stock which has started to show signs of good traction as well as decent breakout. I would suggest to hold on.
Okay, this query is for you, Kunal. This one is from Anjali. She's writing to us from Nasik. She wants to know whether she can buy Power Grid September futures. I'm very sorry, Anjali. I know you've been asking queries for a while, and also you've been calling in, but we would not be taking WhatsApp calls. This is for all of our viewers. We will be replying to your WhatsApp messages. So, Kunal, what should Anjali do with Power Grid September futures? Should she look to buy it?
Well, you can look to buy it. The risk reward is in favor at current levels. 224 approximately is where the spot level is for Power Grid. And I think if you have a time frame of say a couple of weeks or more than that, then you can look out for at least a 10 rupees on the upside, 235-ish as a immediate target for Power Grid.
Right. Akash Mathur is written to you, Kunal. He's asking what a good stock would be to buy in the home theme among Pidilite, Asian Paints, Havells, Astra, or any other firm for a long or medium term.
So I think out of the few names, Havells is something which I would recommend because I believe the technical chart structure for the last 3-4 months have improved significantly for Havells. Double bottom formation, the stock breaking past about the 1300 mark, which was the breakout of this double bottom formation. And I believe this augurs very well for the stock over the near to medium term, even though the stock is still some distance below its all-time high levels. But I still believe that potentially the stock has good momentum on its side to try and break past about the all-time highs. So I would go for Havells.
Okay, this one is coming from Guru, and Guru wants a fundamental view on Jubilant Pharmova. What's your take on this one, Ashish? How is this counter looking like?
Yes, I think after the correction, whatever we have seen in pharma space, even this stock has also corrected quite a bit. But the only thing is, pharma stock, I am only advising to buy if you are having really long-term view, because no short-term triggers are there in any mid-sized pharma companies. So instead of this, in fact, if you want to buy Make Money Fine Chem, will be a better bet where you can get even better returns, because chemical stocks are going to outperform pharma as a pack in short to medium run. So take a call if you can sell this and buy Make Money Fine Chem.
Okay, this next query that I have is coming from Anand, and Anand wants to thank you for Coal India, Kunal. He's saying that he's sitting at a 10% profit in Coal India. Now he wants to know whether he can sell this and look to buy IndusInd Bank for the medium term.
Well, I think it could be a good strategy. I think Coal India has done reasonably well, even though I'm still bullish on Coal India from current levels, but that slight higher alpha or a beta could be generated from IndusInd Bank because the stock has also done reasonably well. It's one of the better performing private sector banks from the large cap space for itself as compared to the likes of ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, etc. So I think the stock holds a lot of potential. I am bullish on IndusInd Bank as well from a near to medium term play, and I believe that that could be a good shift which you can probably look out for from Coal India to IndusInd Bank.
Right, thank you, Kunal. Coming to you, Ashish, Anup Gowda has written to us asking about Tega Industries, that he's bought an IPO price. He's asking whether he should hold or exit.
Which stock?
Tega Industries.
Tega Industries.
Right.
I think if you are having this stock of IPO price, you can continue to remain invested. Company is doing really good, and like in long term perspective, I like this company. So remain invested.
All right. There's another one that's come from, okay, I don't have the viewer's name, but he wants a long-term perspective on Zomato. Not sure whether he's invested in this counter, looking to invest in this counter, but what's your take, Ashish?
55, 57 will be good price to accumulate Zomato for the longer run. One thing is that like in a couple of years at least they'll be in profit. So once they are back in profit, and as the business has very high scalability, this is how now where even brokerages are giving 3-digit target for this stock. So the key is profit. So that is why I'm not advising investors to who are having 1 month, 3 months horizon to buy this stock, but at least 1 to 1.5 year horizon if you are having, then you can buy. I don't see more than 10% downside in this stock from current price.
Right. Roy Dashrath is writing to us, Kunal. He's asking for, he's holding Birla Soft at current price. He's asking for a short-term view.
Well, I would suggest not to average at current levels. Just hold on, because I believe that these mid-cap IT names are on the verge of a time-wise correction, consolidation. So possibly for the next couple of months is where I believe that these stocks could remain absolutely sideways. So I would suggest not to average, but just to hold on with your existing quantity.
Right. This next one is coming from Anish and Kunal. This one is for you. He's saying, and also for you, Ashish, because he's saying Happy Teachers' Day to all the analysts on the show, especially to Mr. Kunal. He's saying that his query is that is Marico in a good position that he should look to buy right now? It's in the consolidatory phase, he's saying, for the last few days. So he wants your opinion on the short term, and also what about going for a long position in Marico futures at current price?
So first of all, Happy Teachers Day to you as well, and thank you so much for that. The answer for Marico is I would not sense that it's a breakout kind of a chart. So remember that FMCG as a sector is a very low beta kind of a sector. Now, out of the low beta sectors, if you're trying to pick up a stock which is not showing any kind of a breakout, you may be in for a lot of waiting time. And if you try and buy futures in that anticipation that the breakout would happen pretty soon, I think the patience would be tested over here in terms of time. So I would not suggest buying a Marico at current levels unless the stock provides that breakout. So as you rightly indicated, that the stock is in a consolidation. The breakout of this consolidation would probably happen about the 540 mark for Marico. So a better trade would be to try and buy the stock once it confirms a breakout about this 540 level.
Right, that's the view coming in on Marico. But on that note, we'll actually slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. When we come back, we will continue with the journey of taking all of our queries. So don't go anywhere, viewers. Stay tuned.
Made money.
ITC's credo